Hey guys, today we'll be going ahead and talking my review of the Galaxy Fold 3 after 3 weeks of owning it. Is it still worth the money? How am I using it today? Let's go ahead and get right into that. So starting off right away, you might realize that I actually have this phone in a really weird situation when it comes to the casing. Now, this is actually a case I reviewed on the channel around a week ago. I actually looked at a couple of cases, and this was one of the cases. It's actually the wallet case for the Galaxy Fold 3. And to be honest, I absolutely love it. It absolutely works amazingly. It is a little bit bulky, as you guys can see, but it fits in my pocket pretty dang good. And it does go ahead and give me my wallet, also having my phone at all times with me without any issue at all. Nonetheless, though, let's go ahead and talk about this phone and how I do like it. So, yes, it is an interesting phone compared to, let's say, the Surface Duo. When it comes to this phone, I do feel like I got to baby a tad bit, but not too much. I've said this over the last couple of weeks, and I feel like as the weeks go on, I baby this phone even less and less. That inner display, although you do have to be a little bit careful, you can for the most part not have any issues with it. But I will say that it does go ahead and attract dust so bad on that inner display, and mainly around the screen protector on the corners and the bottom of the phone. Now, Samsung has been very straightforward about do not remove the screen protector, and I'm not going to. But I will say it is somewhat of an issue, somewhat of a problem, because of the fact that it does go ahead. I mean, it doesn't really affect display or do anything. I still like it there. I have tried getting it off, but you have to be very careful, because if you try to, like I say, use your fingernail to get it off, you can damage the display. So it's like one of those, one or two things here where you either leave it there or you risk damaging the display, and it's just not really worth it at the end of the day when it comes to removing the little piece of dust that gets between the cracks of the phone. Nonetheless, though, overall, it is a great phone. When it comes to texting, I do use iMessage on it, which I'll have a video linked to the icon in my hand corner. I get iMessage on this device. I use Launcher 10. It absolutely looks beautiful. It functions perfectly. I have been using, the PlayStation Remote Play app more than anything. I do like Game Pass, okay? I do like Game Pass, but I like to use the Remote Play app, especially on this device. That gigantic display where it's not too big. I will say one thing, after using this phone for a good amount of time, I realized one thing. I do love the Surface Duo, don't get me wrong, but the Surface Duo might be a tad bit too big for me when it comes to holding this phone in my hands. This phone is like, how like that old nursery rhyme where it goes, not nursery rhyme, but the story, like the old what's called fairy tale story with the three bears, and it's like this one is too small, this one is too big, this one is just right. That's kind of how I feel about this phone. It's where, and I do have bigger hands obviously, but when it comes to like fitting in my hand, it works just perfectly fine. And that's one thing I do like about this phone. And when I open it up, I don't feel like it's really too big or too small. It works just fine, perfectly fine. Now, another thing I've been using this phone a crap ton for, and actually this is another reason why I could never go back to an iPhone or a normal phone in general, even like the Galaxy S23 or 22 that's coming out sometime early next year, is the fact that when I open up this phone, I open up this display, I actually am able to watch, let's say, for example, I'm eating breakfast, lunch, or dinner. I can use this phone as like pretty much a mini tablet to watch YouTube on, and I absolutely love it. Now, it's even better with this phone case right here, because I can go ahead and put this little stand on the back, and I can just have it like this and use it while I'm like eating food, have a little mini tablet in front of me, and it absolutely is awesome, especially with this phone case. But like I said before, I do love this phone case. It's not the best phone case, but it's very cheap, very affordable, and very nice. But I will say overall, though, I love that fact. I love that fact that I can use it while I'm eating and just always have that kind of, display right there in front of me. Now, the Surface Duo also has that feature where you can go ahead and just have it play on both screens, but it's a little bit different because you would have to stand it up perfectly tall in order to do that. I don't know why, but I just like it better on the Fold 3, just how it is laid out, one screen rather than a hinge down the middle blocking up half my media and stuff like that. Now, I know the Surface Duo 2 is going to change that a lot, but again, I just love that about the Fold 3. Absolutely love that about Fold 3. Now, when it comes to gaming, I don't know why, but I've gotten like strangely addicted to Asphalt. The game Asphalt on the Google Play Store is a racing game, and it is so fluent on the Fold 3, and you don't really realize it until you really start playing it. If you guys check out my Fold 3 gaming video I made a couple weeks ago, you kind of see how fluent it plays on that, and you realize how amazing it really is. And I will say, out of 10, I'm going to easily give that game on this device like a 10 out of 10, because it just plays so fluently. It's almost like it's made for that device. You know, while you do have, like, you can put it on an iPhone or a smaller type Android phone, it just feels weird until you play with this gigantic display, 7.6-inch display, and then you go ahead and play with it. It just feels a lot better on this. Now, like I've said many times, I'll say this again, for battery life, I still get a whole entire day's worth out of battery life out of this device at no issue at all. I'm still able to watch my media consumption, do as much media consumption as I want to without any issue at all. I have no battery life issue at all. I know the Galaxy Flip 3 has a big battery life issue, but this does have a 4400 milliamps battery, and I will say that definitely shows very true when it comes to this device, because I have no issue at all going ahead and using it. And from my last review to this review, I have used the inner display, I would say 100 times more than I have before, and even with that, I'm not having any issue with battery life. Even using the 120 hertz display, I'm not having any issue at all. So I will say overall, it's not a big deal for me, but it's definitely something I know a lot of people have issues with, is their battery life. So if you do, make sure you go ahead and maybe just turn that down to 60 hertz when you're doing gaming or stuff like that, and you're probably going to be in a better spot than if you do go ahead and just have complete, you know, no what's called 120 hertz the whole time. I have used this as a laptop, this actual phone, and I have a phone stand and everything. I'm reviewed the phone stand on the channel. The video about the laptop, making this to a laptop, will come out tomorrow, so make sure you check out the channel for that. But I will say overall, it is an absolute beautiful laptop. It functions very, very well, and especially, you know, the fact you can just get a cheap keyboard and mouse. Like I said before, make a video on the channel tomorrow about this. Is a very cheap, affordable mouse, Bluetooth mouse on Amazon. I also have a very cheap, affordable Bluetooth keyboard we're going to be talking about tomorrow on from Amazon, and you can just get that, plug this in with a $10 cable I have, and bam, you now have a laptop computer right for your phone to any monitor, TV, whatever you want to do, and it is literally so cheap and affordable. I know the price of phone's a lot, but you do get that 12 gigabytes of RAM. You do get all the stuff you need to go ahead and really make this to a laptop. So it's a lot of money, but the functionality having it as a phone and a laptop at the same time really benefits you immensely. Now, when it comes to workflow, when it comes to actually going ahead, and doing Word documents, I am a college student, so Word documents, PowerPoint, Excels, it works very perfectly fine. I will say I do like it better on the Surface Duo. That's just me personally. I like having the dual screen action. But on this phone, you can do a very good split screen action. You can open up two applications at the same time, left screen, right screen. I like it a little better on the Surface Duo because the bigger screens in that aspect. But again, like I said, it still works perfectly fine on this phone. And I have found myself using this phone a lot more than the Surface Duo when it came to college work. And I think the reason why is just because it feels better in my hands. And I will definitely say that's something that it might be a small little, caveat to this, but it does feel better in my hands than the Surface Duo. And I think as time goes on, I'm getting more and more adjusted to the phone, and that's probably why. It's just because of how it feels in my hands. It's just I'm getting more adjusted to the more, I guess hands like experience for the size of the phone. So I will say overall, I still give this phone a 9.5 out of 10. I still think it's a really great phone. I think there could be other things that could make this phone perfect. But overall, I will say it's a really, really great phone. So would I recommend this phone? I'm still gonna say yes, but I'm still on the fence because the Surface Duo 2 does come out later this month, and that looks absolutely gorgeous. Now we know it has curved displays at the end of the hinges. So if you guys look at the phone like this, right, it's a straight line and then it curves toward the hinge. So it's like straight glass and then curves. So that looks really, really good. So I'm gonna have to wait to see how when I do review that, I'm gonna get that probably early, either later this month, early next month. I will be reviewing on the channel, unboxing and all that kind of stuff. I'll give my opinions on this phone after we use that phone, because that phone does come in at $1499, $300 less than this phone. So I don't want to go ahead and say, oh yeah, this phone is so much better. You buy this phone and then in a couple weeks, next the Surface Duo 2 comes out and I'm like, wow, this phone's actually really, really good, if not better than this phone, and it's cheaper. So I want to go ahead and make sure I stay clear, give my exact opinion until I get ahead and see all my sources and I see my Surface Duo 2 and I see how that plays. Thank you guys for watching though. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.